Welcome back to boot camp week 3. Today we're going to learn how to build your blood sugar plate. So for our snacks today, did you notice we had some healthy snacks over here? We had some turkey, spinach, avocado roll-ups. And then we have a little cup of peanut butter with some apples. Notice the skins on them. That's going to be extra fiber. And then we're going to have a little surprise later too. They could be organic. You can buy organic, of course. If you don't buy organic, I definitely recommend washing your vegetables, baking soda. So how did you do last week? Any wins? Did you do good? Did you make any goals?
Actually, yeah. Well, I don't know if I made my goal, but my sugar was reading 80. That's the lowest I ever got.
Wow. How did you feel?
Great.
You felt great?
Yeah.
Good.
And also I lost weight.
You lost weight too. All right. That's good. That's good. So before we talk about food today, I want to ask you something. What does building a good plate even mean? Why does it even matter? Any idea?
Well, yeah, commercials. Advertising on the internet, they say also that you need to divide your portions.
Yeah?
But I always get mixed up.
Okay. Well, that's okay. We're going to help you today. So basically, we build our plate because how you build your plate determines how your blood sugar is going to react. Okay? Okay. Have you ever felt tired after eating? Or maybe needed a sweet, having a craving for a sweet, or even have a crash in the afternoon? That's your blood sugar. That's your blood sugar going up and then crashing down. So what is actually happening? So when you eat meals that aren't balanced, your blood sugar spikes and then it crashes. And then your body responds by craving more. And then it's just a cycle. You go back in. It's a cycle that keeps you stuck. These are all the symptoms that can happen when you're not eating a balanced meal. But this is the cycle we're going to break today. So over time, this not eating balanced meals is going to lead to higher numbers in your blood sugars, weight gain, and having to be on more medication. And that's just going to cause more frustration for you guys. So every time that your blood sugar spikes, it adds extra stress to your body that you don't need. But the good news is we can change that. You don't need to eat less. You just need to eat differently. This isn't about dieting. It's about strategy. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, okay? So everything we do today comes down to one simple skill. If you can build a plate the right way, and if you can do that, then you're going to control your blood sugar, period. All right, so let's get into it. So I want to simplify food for you. We have different portions here. So we have a large portion of vegetables, protein, and then you have your carbs or your starch. These are examples on the side of what you can choose for each category. Okay, do you make your plate like this now?
No.
No, right? Okay. So basically, it comes down to 3 things, okay? Every meal, I want you to have 3 things in it at least. So I want you to have a protein, I want you to have a fiber, and I want you to have a healthy fat. You can also have a carb, but we're going to talk about we want smart carbs, okay? If you get this right, your blood sugar is going to improve. Okay, so let's talk about this, carbs. So we don't want any naked carbs. So what that means is just a carb by itself. You need to pair it with something. Carbs alone lead to blood sugar spikes and then crashes. Pair it with a protein or a fat. So let's go back to our apples today, right? So an apple is considered a carb, right? You eat it with the peanut butter, then that gives you the protein. So then you're not eating the carb alone, okay? Right there. Apple, we can do almond butter, you can do peanut butter. Another example would be crackers. Crackers are bad by themselves, but if you pair them with tuna or chicken, you're gonna have a protein. And then also going back to your apples, the skin, if you leave the skin on your apples, that's gonna add extra fiber. And we know fiber is good, right? So remember, when we're talking about it, protein is the anchor. It keeps you full and prevents spikes. So what was the protein in our avocado turkey roll-ups? What was the protein source?
The bacon.
The turkey, correct, yes. Okay, and then vegetables. Vegetables are your protection. That's where your fiber comes from. They slow down the sugar absorption. So what was the fiber in that roll-up?
The apple?
The fiber in the it was spinach. Did you notice the spinach inside there? That was fiber. Okay, and then the last thing that we were talking about in that wrap was a fat, a healthy fat though. It was avocado. So the healthy fat is going to keep everything staying nice and steady, okay? And I'm going to talk a lot about avocados because I really like them. They're a good fat.
So the protein was the turkey.
Yep. The fiber.
The fiber was
The spinach.
spinach.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one?
And you had the avocado was your fat.
Fat avocado. Yeah, it's hard to imagine the avocado is going to be a fat food.
It is. But it's a healthy fat. It's good for you. It's going to keep the blood sugar nice and steady. So carbs are not the enemy, right? But they have to be balanced, okay? So here we go. Like I was talking about, protein, your best friend, okay? It prevents the spikes, keeps you feeling full, and also supports your muscles and metabolism. The goal for each meal is 20 to 30 grams, okay? It may seem like a lot, but we'll get into this. And then for snacks, we'll have 10 to 15 grams per snack. So right here we have a nice example of lots of healthy protein here. We have chicken, we have some steak or beef, we have fish. All this is a good source of protein, any of this stuff on here, okay?
Pork?
Pork, yes, but we want more leaner proteins. Pork has a lot of fat, so not the good kind of fat. Fiber, that's the next thing I want you to really pay attention to when you're building your plates is fiber. You're gonna get fiber from your vegetables. The greener or the darker the vegetables, the more fiber it's gonna have. And also aim for color, color on your plate. You don't want just maybe greens, add some extra colors too. These are all examples of really good vegetables that have a lot of fiber in it and that are really good also to keep your blood sugar steady. Okay?
I don't see the least zucchini. Okay, gosh.
Yeah, I mean, there's other ones too. I just put most popular ones up there. Okay, let's see what else. Healthy fats. So here's your healthy fats, okay? So your avocados, olive oil, not any other, not canola oil, not vegetable oil, olive oil. Nuts. Walnuts are a really good source of healthy fat. And also salmon and sardines. They have the omega-3 in it, so it's really good healthy fat for you as well. Eating the fat with the meals is going to help slow the absorption of the sugar, so you're not going to notice those spikes, okay? Now, this is what I was talking about, smart carbs versus problem carbs, okay? So we see here, our smart carbs are going to be berries, sweet potatoes, quinoa, and beans, okay? Those are all smart carbs. And here's an example too. You also have your whole grains too. Those are good carbs too. Fruits are considered carbs because they will, they do spike your sugar. So we're not limiting, we're not having them, we're just balancing them. What we want to limit is white bread because it's just, there's nothing in it, it's just processed. Juice, we talked about that before. Juice is just loaded with sugar.
Yeah.
Any kind of sugary snacks like any of these down here, or anything that's ultra processed, fast foods, French fries, pizza, that kind of stuff. We want to kind of avoid all that or limit it as much as we can, okay?
When you say juice, you're referring to the one that you said by the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about the one that you buy the orange and you...
That's better. Yes. You still have to check. Remember we talked about the nutritional labels last week, checking for the added sugar? We know that fruit has sugar, that's fine, but we want to avoid any extra added sugar. Yeah. If it's just got 7 grams of regular sugar in it and nothing added, that's better than 7 grams with 5 added, you know what I mean? Because those added sugars are just processed, sugar. We don't want that. Right. So here we go. Here's an example of a nice plate right here, okay? So they recommend using a 9-inch plate, and then you can see that it's cut in half. This half is nice vegetables. So they have like a variety of vegetables there. Then you have a protein, that should be about 1/4 of your plate. And then their starch, they chose some beans and rice. That's a great choice too. Now for their beverage, what's over here? Water. Low calorie beverage, unsweet tea, that kind of stuff. And then over here they have, looks like an orange, just a little fruit, for dessert or something. That's perfectly fine. because you're eating all this. And then the healthy fat, we can guess, is all the salad, probably an olive oil dressing or something. So that's a really good example of a nice plate there. Could you see yourself eating that? Yeah?
The problem is probably I will be second with the rice.
Yeah, that's the problem. People don't realize it, that this normally is over here, right? The portions are different, yeah. So this is what I'm trying to teach you today, that this is how your plate should look. More vegetables, okay? Here's another example. This one, they have another salad. They have spaghetti. So you can still have spaghetti, you can still have pasta, but it's balanced with everything else, okay?
Oh, lo mein?
Yeah, it looks like lo mein. Okay, let's see what other, I got a bunch of options on here for us. Okay, and this is a planner. So this is basically saying, pick a starch, pick 2 or more vegetables, 1 protein source, and then you could have a fruit, some sort of fruit or some sort, or some plain yogurt, milk, maybe. So this is a good option for helping choose your plate. Here's another one. I saved this one for you because I wanted to show you that this, you can still have it. It's considered your carb and your starch, but see, you've got black beans with it. And then we have our chicken for the protein, and then look, we have a nice little mixed veggie over here, and there's your avocado for your fat.
Is that a pita bread or flat bread?
I believe it's a tortilla.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So, but you see the portion of it, it's a small portion, it doesn't take up the whole plate. So that's what we have to think about, smaller portion sizes, okay? And then here, this one, I saved this one too because to show you that you can still have mac and cheese. You can have a little bit of it, but we don't need a whole half plate full of it, That should be more of your greens. And then looks like they even got a little chicken leg or wing or something there.
Doesn't matter what part of the chicken, right?
Doesn't matter what?
What part of the chicken?
No, chickens are good.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to deep fry it though, of course, baking, grilling, those are more appropriate. And then this one too. So this one they have some ribs, right? So there you go. But see the portion of ribs? Smaller. They got a whole big old thing of greens and then their starch over there. Okay?
1/4.
Yep, 1/4. And see this one too. You got your healthy fats there. Looks like some chicken, and then there's some beans and rice. So these are all really good plate ideas, okay? So I wanted you to take home some of these and figure out your plate, what you like to eat.
What about if I got seconds at the same time?
If you got sick?
Seconds.
No seconds. Okay, so let's plan your meal, okay? First, I'm going to show you how to build a plate, okay? All right. So I have these plates that are pre-portioned out, okay? So they are veggies and then 1/4, 1/4. So what we have in this is we have our protein, a grilled chicken breast, okay? Then we have some vegetables. We have broccoli and then a little side salad. And then for our starch or our carbs, I have some beans and rice, okay? This is a healthy, very healthy meal here, okay? Now let me show you what most people's plates look like, okay? What do you think about this plate?
That's what I eat.
That's what you eat, huh? Exactly. This is what most people eat. So first off, where's the protein?
I don't know.
There's no protein on this plate at all. So that's number 1 red flag. And then look at the portion of the noodles, the pasta. It's on the wrong side. This should be the vegetables. And there's only 1 green vegetable and 1 starchy vegetable here. We want non-starchy vegetables. Corn is still a vegetable, but it's considered a starchy vegetable, which means it will raise your blood sugar more. And then we also have a plain potato. We talked about how we prefer sweet potatoes over plain potatoes, right? So this plate is not very balanced, right? This is what we want to change. And then look, ice cream.
Oh, delicious.
So this is too much. You can still have pasta, but we need to cut that in half, you know? This is what most people are eating though, so that's important. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna pass out some handouts and we're gonna build a meal together, okay? All right. So here we go. This talks about building a balanced meal, okay? So on this page, I want you to make a breakfast plate. What would you have on for your breakfast? And if you don't know, here's some examples of stuff that you can add.
I don't see coffee.
What do you think you would like? You can have black coffee. Breakfast. What would you have for breakfast?
I have to choose from there. Or I can
You can pick whatever you want. You just write it in there, and I'm going to come around and check and see what you're doing. So what do you normally eat for breakfast?
coffee and toast or a flatbread.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Well, let's see. So let's think of a non-starchy vegetable that you could have for breakfast, along with your toast maybe.
Avocado.
What is it?
An avocado.
Avocado, that's going to be your fat. You can add that for your fats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like spinach, or maybe you could have like a spinach and egg omelet.
no, I really, in my case,
Yes.
for breakfast it's just coffee and a piece of bread. Usually now it's like those flat bread that I'm buying.
Okay. Well, how about you put some avocado on that bread then? Put some avocado on that toast. Make it an avocado toast, then you have the healthy fat in there. We're trying to make a balanced breakfast for you.
Yeah, what I'm doing is using the hummus.
The hummus, okay,
Hummus,
that's
yeah,
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can do that. You put the hummus on your flatbread?
Right.
Okay, very good, very good.
And the coffee does about it.
And the coffee?
Yeah.
Okay. How about lunch? What would be a good lunch for you?
Lunch is usually with chicken.
Chicken, so that's a good protein source.
Chicken, rice, and sometimes they have spinach. That's about it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So then what are we missing there? Only thing we're missing is some kind of healthy fat. So you could add an avocado, or maybe a drizzle of olive oil, or a handful of walnuts, and that will give you a complete balanced meal.
Yeah. Sometimes I have the rice, beans, and when I have the beans, I have to put olive oil.
There you go. Then you have your fat.
Yeah.
That's perfect. See, that's what I want you to understand. I want you to make sure you have all three of those things at least in your meals, okay? Going forward. All right, and how about a dinner?
Very rare, usually. Now, before it was a regular meal of McDonald's or something like that. But right now it's changing. Just sometimes I have. What I'm doing is, instead of eating my lunch like 12 like I used to, I'm just going at like around 3 o'clock. Okay, so waiting on that, and then I have the lunch that I have. It will last me until maybe 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Then I will get hungry again, and I will go for just a small sandwich.
Maybe a small snack or something?
Yeah.
Good, good. What kind of snacks do you like? What would be a go-to snack?
Well, I've seen a couple of times, I get, my son comes and sometimes he brings me that bag of potato chips or chisitos and things like that. So I get just, a handful, but I know it's bad.
But if you're limiting how much you're eating, that's smart.
Yeah.
If you're thinking ahead now, like, oh, I can't eat a whole bag, I need to eat only a smaller portion.
Just a small portion, because I cannot eat the whole bag nowadays. Seems to be that my stomach has shrink.
Good, yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, and so here's another just pamphlets for you. This is another plate idea to help you build your plates. Talks about, so look, there's your coffee, right? So here's their breakfast ideas. So you can gather from them, and it tells you some tips here. And then this one is another about planning your plate, and it has just examples of what you can put in each category, okay? So
Great.
that's for you there, okay. And then I want to show you this packet. I love this packet. This is really great. So this is called Planning Healthy Meals, and this is available on that website that I told you about for all that education on Novo Nordisk. So it's a nice pamphlet here. So basically it talks about making healthier food choices. We talked about that. Diabetes and healthy eating, and then the portion sizes that we talked about. How you can, if you don't have measuring cups, you can use your hands and your thumb, palm, fist, hands, and then also has a nutritional label on here. And then if you open it all the way up, has a nice big picture of a plate, and then on each side it has what's recommended to fill the categories, okay? So I love this. This is perfect, and it tells you right there if you're not sure how much your protein should be, about the size of a deck of cards. So it tells you everything there, okay? So this is a great thing. And then on the back of it, it also gives you that website again so you can go to and look for more stuff, okay?
I have a question. When you mention eggs in breakfast,
Yes.
you don't say just boiled eggs, right?
Hard-boiled eggs? Yeah.
I do that once in a while, but I prefer when I have eggs in the refrigerator, I'd rather have an omelette.
Yeah.
But it has to be fried.
But that's okay. If you're gonna fry it, you're gonna fry it in what? Olive oil, right?
Yeah.
And then what are you gonna add to your omelet?
Sometimes I put a piece of ham if I had that,
Okay.
and cheese. That's about it.
Can we add some veggies now?
Well,
Maybe some
I
spinach?
haven't had any babies.
Try adding some spinach to it, or some peppers or something in the omelet,
No, okay.
and then that'll balance it for you, because then you'll have your veggies and you'll have your fiber. Okay? Because we're all about balance, right? Okay. All right. So we talked about the plate. So the plate that I showed you earlier that had all the carbs on it, what do you think will happen if you eat that plate?
The one.
This one. What will happen if you eat this?
Screw up what I'm trying to do.
Your blood sugar is going to go up, right? It's going to spike. This is where the problems happen. Yep. This is what causes your blood sugar to spike and then crash afterwards.
Yeah, you can see here on the tracking that I'm doing. Before I start the program, my sugar was 149.
That's really great, Percy. Yeah, I see that. That's wonderful. Very good. So, this isn't just about today. I want you to take this information and use it every day, I want you to eat like this every day, at restaurants, at home, anywhere you're at. I want you to think like this and plan and build your plate like this, okay?
Yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice.
It can be, yes, it can be a lot of sacrifices, yep.
You can go out of in my neighborhood and you can smell McDonald's right there in the corner.
Oh, so tempting. Yes. And then I wanted to talk about snack time too. So it's not good to avoid you don't want to skip snacks, okay? Because what's going to happen is it's going to cause you to overeat later, right? You want a balanced snack that's going to make you have stable energy. Think a mini meal, not something quick, So eating every 3 to 4 hours is good to keep your blood sugar steady, okay? Don't try to avoid long gaps in between meals. If you're not going to eat for a while, like 5 or 6, 7 hours, then grab a snack. You know what I mean? Because that will prevent you from crashing and then trying to overcompensate and overeat to make yourself feel better. And also, don't eat heavy carb meals late at night. Okay? We definitely don't want to do that. Okay.
Another thing I'm doing. This is just for you to know how I'm balancing that. I do my own hummus.
You make your own hummus?
Yeah.
That's great.
And yesterday I did my own flatbread. I got a recipe from the internet.
Nice. What kind of flour did you use?
How do you call that veggie? I forgot the name. I gotta write it down.
Nice.
My memory sometimes fails. Okay, 1 second. On my phone sometimes. use chickpeas.
Chickpeas.
2 cans.
Okay.
Because I don't have that. I'm lazy to be cooking that. I can have.
Oh, yeah, for your own hummus. Okay, for how about for your flatbread?
Right there.
Okay. Next time you go to buy ingredients, try buying almond flour. They have it in the section. It's in a smaller bag. It's not the white flour, but it's made out of almonds, and it's actually healthier for you.
What's the name?
Almond flour. Like, you know how you get almonds? They grind it and use, that's the flour that they use. It's better than the white processed flour.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, so now I'm gonna show you how to do all this in a smoothie. Okay? Do you eat smoothies?
You know, the smoothies I normally buy with my son.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you how to make one, and it's going to be a meal, not just a dessert. It's going to actually be a balanced meal for you, okay?
Wow.
All right.
Do I have it do I have the recipe right here?
Right here's the recipe. I can print that for you. Okay. So first thing, you start with your base, which is some kind of milk. Almond milk is best. It's lower calories.
I use 2%.
Try almond milk. See if, when you do your smoothies, see if you like that, okay? So I'm going to add some almond milk. Okay. Now we're going to add our protein, okay? So for the protein I chose is a yogurt. Greek yogurt's really good, but we have this 25-gram protein yogurt that we had before, and that was really good. So I'm going to use that in our smoothie today. Okay. Let's put that in there. Okay. Now, this protein, what is this going to do for us? What is this going to help us do? So our blood sugar doesn't spike, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, very good.
Now you can tell me how can you keep the avocado not to get black?
That's the thing, yeah. So you have to
I put
lemon on it sometimes, and then they have, if you seal it real good with plastic wrap and make sure there's no air, because the air is what makes it turn brown. Okay, so we added our protein. Now we're going to add some fiber. Spinach. Just a nice handful of that. You can't taste it. So now we're going to add the fat. Avocado. Let's put our avocado in there. Now we're going to add our carbs, okay? I got some little mixed berries. So about...
Any berries, like strawberries?
Yeah, strawberries. This is a mixed berry. It has raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries. So about a half a cup of that. We want to make sure we measure that out because we don't want a carb overload, okay? So we got about a half a cup of berries. Okay. And then I like to add, for extra fiber, some chia seeds. And then I also have in here a little bit of cinnamon to give it a little bit of flavor, okay? So just dump that right in there too. Okay. Let's pop this top on, okay. So I would add vanilla, but the yogurt is vanilla flavored. But you could add a little splash of vanilla, that would be good, yep. So this is gonna blend up real quick. And the cinnamon will help, sorry. Nice color. squeeze. It makes sure it's all nice and smooth. It does 3, now it's done, yep. Okay, so did you notice I didn't add a banana? Because that's gonna spike your sugar. So let's try to see what it tastes like without that. So you can see what it tastes like, Percy, okay? I eat these, I drink this every day. I love these. What do you think? Let me know. Not bad, right?
Yeah, I was expecting a little more sweet, but it's not.
It's not. It's not too sweet.
Yeah.
Because we use the berries.
I can.
And the avocado.
But I can taste the vanilla.
You can taste you can taste the yogurt. Yep, the vanilla yogurt. Yep. So this is a balanced meal in a cup. You can have this for a snack. And 12 ounces is fine. You don't have to make a big one. That's enough. And it will keep you full because it has protein, it has fiber, it has carbs, and it has fats, right? This is the recipe that we used. This is what we basically did today. Just put them all in there. And then if you wanted it thicker, you could add more ice. If you wanted it thinner, you could add more milk.
What about if I add the whole avocado?
What is it?
If I add the whole avocado.
You can add a whole avocado. It's a little bit heavy fats. It might be make it taste more, but half an avocado is perfectly fine for a small smoothie. If you were gonna make a bigger one to replace the entire meal, then you could add a whole avocado. Yeah, so like we said, the protein stabilizes the blood sugar. The fiber is gonna slow down the absorption. The healthy fats are gonna keep you feeling full. And then the balanced carbs are gonna give you that steady energy. Okay? Could you see yourself drinking something like this?
The one that I have with my son is super sugary.
Exactly, that's another thing. So a lot of smoothies in these places you'll get, they use fruit juice, they use lots of different sweets, fruits and stuff like that. They add sweeteners to it, and then they don't really use protein, and they don't really use fiber. So you're just literally drinking a sugary drink, and it's gonna spike your blood sugar. So this is a good option. You know, you can play with the ingredients too, as long as you have those 3 things that we talked about. What are they? Protein?
The protein, the fiber, and the fat.
Very good, thank you. Okay. All right, so I wanna talk about some goals for the next couple weeks, okay? So I want you to build a balanced plate with every meal, okay? Now I'm gonna give you something to take home. I want you to use this, okay?
Okay.
It's one of those plates that I showed you everything with, okay? I want you to try to build your plates with this, okay? This is not just a plate, this is a tool, okay? I want you to use it for the next 2 weeks. Use it for every meal, okay? Follow the sections and see how you do, okay? You don't have to be perfect, you know, if you don't do it every time, but just try. Try to make it a habit, so that way you can do that with a regular plate, okay? The more you do it and the more you see it, the easier it will become. This may be the most important thing you take from my class, okay? This plate and this portion controls with the plate, okay? Next thing I want you to do is no naked carbs for 7 days. Try it. Remember what we talked about, naked carbs? So let's go back to that. So a naked carb is an apple alone, right? Or some crackers alone. We don't want to do that, right? What do we want to add to it? We want to add some kind of protein to it, right? So with the crackers, we can add chicken salad, tuna salad, that gives us protein. And then with the apples, we can add a nut butter or peanut butter, and that's going to give you that.
As a matter of fact, it tastes pretty good.
Yeah, right? So those are green apples too. Green apples are less in sugar, so that's not going to cause big spikes either. And they're not too bad, right?
Any peanut butter, right?
Yeah, any peanut butter. I mean, nut butter is better, like almond butter, but any peanut butter, check the back of the thing. Make sure there's no added sugar, right?
Yeah.
Good. So, you know, you don't need a diet, you just need a system. If you upgrade one daily habit, say you fix your smoothies, you know, don't eat the smoothies with your son anymore, make them at home. Or you improve your breakfast, you know, maybe talk about, like we talked about, adding some spinach to your eggs, your omelet, you know, some more veggies in there. Or swap your snack out, you know, instead of having the potato chips, eat something else, you know. Maybe, why don't you try roasted chickpeas? That's a good crunchy little snack. You can roast them in the oven with some olive oil and maybe some salt and pepper, and that's like crunchiness. Try that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And then I want you to eat every 3 to 4 hours, okay? I want you to do that so you prevent crashes. Even if it's a small snack, a handful of nuts or something like that, okay? It's gonna give you that energy, and we don't want you to crash. And we don't want you to crave those sweets, you know, and fail and grab the sweets, you know? And then I want you to add vegetables to at least 2 of your meals every day, okay? The more fiber, the more your blood sugar will be stable, okay? And then try going for a walk, maybe a 10-minute walk after 1 meal a day, okay? Try that. And then take photos of your meals. You know, if you have a really good meal that you planned and you're like, oh, I really like this, take a photo. I'd love to see it. We could talk about it at next class, right? Okay. Like I said, you don't need a diet, you just need a system. Every time you build your plate correctly, you help your body, okay? So, and I want you also, every time that you have a plate, I want you to have a 3-rule question, okay? 3 rules. Where's my protein? Where's my fiber? And where's my fat? Those are the 3 things I want you to ask every meal. And you know what? If you're missing one of them, I want you to go back and fix it, because it's not a balanced meal.
Yeah.
Okay?
Put it in my notes.
Very good. Yes. Okay. Percy, anything else?
Yeah.
Let me see. I got something else for you.
Sometimes as a snack, I get the whole banana.
A full banana? When do you eat that?
So after breakfast, you know, as I told you before, I usually have a longer waiting period before I eat something else.
Mm-hmm.
So in between, I get instead of an apple, I get a banana.
Okay.
But they are telling me it's not good for me because I'm diabetic.
Yes. So a banana is a naked carb, right? So if we eat it alone, it's going to make our blood sugar spike. So we have to pair it with something. So you have to pair it with some kind of protein, maybe peanut butter, or some kind of fat. One of those 2 things you have to pair with it. Or just don't eat a banana alone for a snack. Make it with your meal, like your toast and your avocado, and have a banana. You know what I mean? Because then you have your green, you have your fat, and then you have your banana. Okay? And this also is for you. This also talks about portions, portion
okay.
sizes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son's doctor, I found him after a couple of years. I found him like 2 weeks ago, and he was really on the heavy side.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's very skinny, and he told me the only thing that he does is reduce the meal that he's eating. He said no diet, it's the same thing, but it's small portions, and that helped him.
Good, yeah. And that's going to help you with this too, you know what I mean? So your protein, if it's bigger than this, it's too big, right? If it can't fit in here. Same thing with your grains. And then your vegetables, of course, you have plenty of room. That's 2 cups right there. So yeah, I think this will really help you plan your meals better. And check your plates too. They should only be 9 inches. They shouldn't be bigger than that.
Yeah, I believe